All right, let's talk some measurement again. Today, the first question that is on my paper says, what is the height of the moon? Well, first, we have to figure out what the word height means. Before, when we measured, we always saw the ruler laying on the side from left to right. But when we want to measure the height of something, that just means how tall something is. So that's why, look, we turned our ruler and now it is going from top to bottom instead of left to right. We're going to do the exact same thing and use our same strategies when we measure the height. We're going to get our starting line and we're going to get our ending line and we're going to count our hops. Now notice, it's not starting on 0, okay? So we're starting in the middle of the ruler. So when we do that, we're going to count from the beginning to the end, and it's going to look something like this. 1, 2, 3. So the height of the moon is going to be 3 inches. And if you look at our ruler, it tells me that we're measuring with inches. Let's look at another one. This one looks a little different. It says, to the nearest inch, what is the length of the 2 objects? So this one's a little bit different. So when we do that, before we can measure and add the length of the 2 objects, we have to figure out what the length of 1 object is first. So we're going to start with the arrow, which is the first object on my ruler. So when I do that, I'm going to start on the end right here, which is a 1, and my ending line is right here. So when I count, let's count the hops from the beginning to the end. Notice we're also going to be measuring with inches. So when I do that, it's 1, 2, 3. So the arrow is going to be 3 inches. Now let's look at the cloud. I have my beginning and I have my end. 1, 2. So the cloud is 2 inches. So when it says, what is the width of the 2 objects, what do you think we're going to have to do to figure out what the total length is for the 2 objects? We're simply going to add them. So now that I know each of these individuals, I can create an equation. 3 plus 2 is equal to blank. Well, we know that 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. So 5 inches. Let's look at a few more. On this ruler, it says, what is the combined length of the 2 triangles? What does combined mean that we're going to do? Combined is another word that tells us that we're going to be adding. But before we can add the lengths of the triangles, we have to figure out the length of each triangle. So let's try that. Look at the first triangle. My beginning mark, my ending mark. My beginning mark, my ending mark. Remember, it's to the closest or to the nearest inch line, okay? So we are measuring in inches if you look on the ruler. Now let's count our hops. 1, 2. So the length of the first triangle is 2 inches. Now let's measure the second one. 1, 2. 2 inches. So what am I going to do to figure out the combined length? Well, we're going to simply add. So I can say 2 inches plus 2 inches is equal to 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4. So 4 inches. Last one. This one says, what is the length of the 2 stars? We're going to do the exact same thing. In order to be able to add them together, we first have to know the length of each individual star. So I'm going to look at my ruler, and I want you to notice that this time we're measuring in centimeters. Okay? So I have my beginning line and my ending line, and I'm going to measure how long the star is in centimeters. 1, 2, 3. Now let's measure the second star. Beginning line, ending line. 1, 2, 3. It is also using centimeters on the ruler as well. So when I want to know what the length is of the 2 stars, all we simply have to do is add the 2 separate lengths. So I'm going to write an equation of 3 plus 3, which we all know is 6. So what is the length of the 2 stars? It is 6 centimeters. All right, thank you. Have a great day.